and 7 seasons, centuries have passed, until the day a hero named Mariner famous as dark and we love to play video games. We'll keep playing until the early morning. Dark and we explain monster games. Deep dark and we suffer games and more. As Mariner set off on his quest to new and get a crew, the navigator joined the ranks and so did Mr. Q. Sailing for adventure, stories and for treasure, we will help you through, so climb aboard and join the crew. Deep dark and we love to play video games. We'll keep playing until the early morning. Deep dark and we explain monster games. Deep dark and we suffer games and more.
Ahoy, ahoy divers, and welcome back to Deep Dive Gaming. I am the Mariner, and we are going to be discussing Final Fantasy XI in this particular short stream of consciousness with Hiro. Ahoy, Hiro.
Hello.
Tyrundeth is on his way, so I'll go ahead and leave his icon up there. And actually, I'm wondering if this is the correct stream. Because this says Horizon XI, not Final Fantasy XI, although kind of does. I'm confused. Well, we'll let it run.
I am.
Because I don't have a good... I didn't have a good alternative. But in the meantime, ahoy Twitch, ahoy YouTube. And if we got Rumble going, ahoy Rumble. I kind of goofed up and... Yeah, I goofed up and I started the wrong... Or I forgot to select, rather, the correct episode on OBS. I just hit the streaming button because I got caught up in my conversation with Hiro, which tends to happen.
I'll take the blame for it.
No. It was not to exact blame. I was just catching up the chat on what happened. I'm fully aware that I'm the one who failed to select the thing. So, anywho.
But just to confirm, Rumble is functioning. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna see if I can get that up so I can get the chat going. Make sure I got the... Oh, wait, hang on. It looks like it's... Okay.
Also, hey there, Mojo. How's everything going? Has things resolved properly yet?
Well,
Wait for her.
It's a loaded question. She's had a lot happen in the last couple of days alone.
Well, I'm only tracking what she disclosed in the Discord.
Right. Why the heck is this? There it is. Okay. I couldn't find this YouTube stream for some reason, so I could get the chat open. There we go. Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
Woof. So, anyways, Final Fantasy XI. We have a new... This is... I don't know if this looks accurate to you or not. I might go find another video just to compare, just in case. I think I'll go ahead and do that. But can you...
While you're hunting that down, I'll add some color commentary on this if you'd like.
Thank you. That's about what I was going to ask you.
So, Final Fantasy XI is a bit of an oddball in the series. It is the first installment where it was an exclusively online game. That being said, you could not play it if you did not have the additional external hard drive. You could not play it if you did not have the internet link. You could not play it if you did not Basically, if you were missing a single component of the requirements, couldn't do it. Had to be high speed, had to be internet, and had to have that hard drive. When it dropped initially, it was specifically only for PlayStation 2, and then eventually it went to the Xbox 360 and to Windows. And again, it's an MMO, so partying was required, and still to this day, I'm one of those people that despises mandatory requirements for parties. I guess you could say that I tend to be antisocial sometimes, but I dispute that claim. Anyways, that
Okay,
being
this looks like
said,
this might be more promising. Let me turn this on. Let me size the window up a little bit better.
I recognize that.
Okay, cool. At least now we know we have the right thing. I just gotta edit the transform again. Let's see. Let's just do a reset transform. Whoops. Transform. I lost it. Transform. Reset.
Well, hello,
Transform. There we go.
Tyrundeth.
Ahoy,
Sorry
Tyrundeth.
about that. Had to take care of an emergency download.
Indeed.
Are we speaking euphemistically or legit?
Both.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I think I got what we want now running on the screen. So
Yes, that looks more correct comparatively to what we were watching a moment ago.
kind of looks remastery, but at the same time, I don't have a frame of reference, so we might as well just leave it. Really quick, ahoy Twitch, ahoy chat, ahoy Rumble, ahoy Mojo, ahoy Tyrundeth. If Mary Kitty decides to
Hello.
come and chat, we will ahoy her as well. So, anywho, Tyrundeth, Hiro was introducing us to Final Fantasy XI, but I imagine you have your own things to say about Final Fantasy XI.
Well, aside from the fact that it came out the same time as the PlayStation 2 hard drive did, there's really not much I can say. I never got the chance to play this one.
Mm.
It does have its own card game associated with it. That, as I recall, is also kind of similar to all of the others, which seems to be a trend, although this one closer to being triple triad than the rest.
I think we may be dealing with a situation where the person didn't do the screen capture correctly. Everything looks a little squished.
That could be.
But we'll live with
Yeah, there's a little bit of disproportionate issue there, yeah.
it. I
I
could
would
tinker with it some more, but
definitely-
I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, it's not worth tinkering with more than what you already have. In truth, the aspect ratios would be. I notice a trend with older video games. Their aspect ratios have problems with meshing with what's available on TV versus what's available on monitors, and that has been a continuing trend up until probably the last, I would say, 5 or so years, because now TVs are basically monitors.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not 5 years, maybe 5 to 10.
Still, this was
years.
this was uploaded seeming about 2 years ago. So I think the technology exists to make, or the settings exist in the render technology to make it look correct. So this is a fail upon the uploader.
I'm not going to dispute that claim.
Whoa, I recognize these guys from Monster Hunter World. And I do
Right.
not have fond memories of my recognitions of this guy. I think this is the one guy I was not able to beat solo, and I could never find a party where we could defeat him multiplayer.
Speaking of Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter type games, apparently Dauntless is going to be sunset soon.
Not surprising. From what I heard Rogue Raven talking about, it did not seem like it was going to be long for this world after the changes they made recently.
Apparently, Dauntless had been very popular until recently.
Mojo confirms. Mojo confirms. Dauntless can get bent.
Let's see. So,
Might I suggest that that is a rather daunting process?
perhaps.
Well, I prefer the Dauntless procedures in Monster Hunter World.
Anyways, before this gets any funny, I'm gonna go ahead and start reading.
Okay.
Final Fantasy XI, also known as Final Fantasy XI Online, is the franchise's first MMORPG, as well as the 11th installment in the main series. Final Fantasy XI was the world's first cross-console MMO available for Windows, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and Steam. Two of those things are the same, so you could just, redundancies. It was the most financially successful title in the Final Fantasy series until surpassed by Final Fantasy XIV, the second MMO. Now, that accounting is slightly misleading, at least from my perspective, because as I recall, Final Fantasy XI almost bankrupt Square.
Yeah,
But
it was bad. This was their first foray into MMOs.
That was almost their last foray into Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
It was almost their
the-
legit Final Fantasy.
hmm And again, there's mentions of this game in 14.
Well, we should hold off on that until 14.
We are only a few weeks away if we keep on schedule.
Yes, as long as we don't have any other illnesses suddenly come up and kill us.
Yeah.
Or an extreme amount of emergency downloads.
Anywho.
Not a fun prospect.
So, let's see, where did you leave off? Sorry, I'm
Anyway,
still having dinner, so.
yeah. Well, I'll continue in favor of that. Due to the nature of online RPGs, Final Fantasy XI differs in that the player is not the only hero. Instead, each player creates a customizable character and adventures through the world of Venadiel. I think I got that enunciation right. With other players, leveling up, exploring, completing missions, quests, and much more. Leveling up requires a group of people working together in what is called a party. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and break down the fundamentals of RPGs now. With each participant contributing their own skills to help take down a foe and gain experience. But okay, I'm not going to read the rest of that. That's
To be fair, this is pretty well on brand for Final Fantasy XI.
yeah. They go on talking about the ATB system, which apparently is again revamped. Not a surprise considering each generation tends to get revamping. At the game's peak, there were some 500,000 people playing Final Fantasy XI, utilizing over 2 million characters. Again, some context for our dear viewers. Final Fantasy XI being an MMO and being let's add in the fact that if I remember correctly, it was a subscription service. Add to that 500,000 people playing at the peak. There's your context for why they considered it at the time the most profitable Final Fantasy in the franchise. You had a continuous revolving monthly subscription. So rather than at the time $60 per game, you're talking about what, $20 a month per player per player. I don't remember. I don't know what the price was.
I think it was 12 originally.
Yeah, I don't actually even know what the subscription costed at the time, nor do I know what the subscription costs now for 14. But that being said, that's some perspective to add to it, because I don't find it to be fair that you have a standalone game that you pay $70 for, and you compare that to the revolving payments of Final Fantasy 11 or 14.
Not even remotely, because
Yeah.
that you're talking. The game itself here was, that original price, and then you still had to pay the revolving door.
Yeah. Mojo says that she lost respect for Square that day.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
They pulled some serious shenanigans on that one.
There was a reason I never got into Final Fantasy 11.
There's a reason it's also known as the black sheep.
Granted, to be fair, at the time I was also playing World of Warcraft, so adding another subscription service.
Yes, Warcrack.
Adding another subscription service at the time was not in my best interest.
The truth be told, probably the original wasn't either.
Thank you for saying it, Tyrundeth. I was eating at the time.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Yeah.
where did you leave off? I can read a little bit.
I talked a little bit about the ATB system, so you could probably
mentioned
take
it,
up.
yeah. I was going to say, basic gameplay looks like all the other gameplays for Final Fantasy. Job system has 22 jobs available. Players not restricted to one class per character and can switch jobs whenever they like. Players
They
have
did get that right.
Yeah. Each job has abilities and traits. Job abilities must be activated. Magic spells are like job abilities. Job traits are passive abilities. Most unique part of the job system is the support job, which this system allows the player to augment their character with abilities, traits, and spells from another chosen job at up to half the level of their current job. However, there are some exceptions to the support job system. Special job abilities and other abilities deemed signature to a particular job are restricted to being used only when set on main job. Also, some adjustments have been made to lower the effectiveness on certain abilities when used on support jobs. Leveling and partying looks pretty much the same. Let's see. The original level cap was 50, raised through version updates by increments of 5 to level 75 around the time of the English release in 2003. In 2010, 7 years after the level was capped at 75, the level cap was slowly raised again, culminating in level 99 in December 2011. Players who reached 75 and above can begin converting experience into limit points. These in turn grant merit points, which may be spent to gain additional stats, abilities, and traits. Partying is common to almost all gameplay systems, as it allows each job to excel in their role, subsequently kill harder monsters more efficiently than solo play. Killing hard monsters quickly in succession also grants a bonus to experience known as a chain.
That actually pervades through the series.
Oh, cool. When in a party, monster's aggressive actions are determined by the enmity system. Almost every action taken during a battle generates enmity, and whoever possesses the most enmity will have the monster's attention and subsequently be attacked. Oh, aggro. Okay, cool. Keys to succeeding in party battle is managing enmity in order to protect vulnerable party members such as mages who typically have low defense. Any of this sounding familiar to the WoW player in the group? Players must pick and choose actions. Players must pick and choose actions while thinking about how it will affect the enmity and therefore the entire group. because of this, certain jobs are tasked with trying to create the most enmity possible in order to hold the monster's attention. A full party is 6 members, and up to 3 members may come together to form an alliance, which can consist of a maximum of 18 players. Wait, what? Full party 6, up to 3 parties. Oh, okay. For some reason I thought that was 3 members inside of 6-member party. I'm like, huh? Okay, so alliance, which can consist of 18 players. Although open world battle content is limited to a full alliance at any time, many gameplay systems involving battlefields are designed to challenge even larger groups of players at one go. Depending on whether they are playing solo or in small groups, players may choose to summon adventuring fellows or trust alter egos to aid in combat. Adventuring fellows are AI-controlled NPCs, AI-controlled, programmatically controlled are NPCs that can be customized and even leveled up to suit the player's styles, whereas trust alter egos are magical copies of various famous heroes in Vanadil and specific moves in unique. I substitute the word programmatical commands to the AI because it is not AI. See, Mojo says where you are describing is also how DCU gameplay worked back in the day when it was good. I wouldn't know. I think the closest thing I got to a DC game was Injustice and Injustice 2.
That was a good
Both-
couple of games.
Injustice
Both very,
2,
very good. Both very, very good stories. Gameplay wise, well, I'm not really big on fighting games that much. So.
I was actually intrigued, since it was brought up by the Injustice 2 system where you could set a character on autopilot and level them up and just watch the combat versus actually having to fight.
Which, yeah, that is cool.
Main purpose of which was to unlock different outfits and with different abilities attached. It's basically the WoW grind without having to get upset because you're not getting it or because your timing is off on hitting the keys.
Hey, that brings back a few nightmares from a different game.
Mojo says up to 6 people in a full squad and running dungeons and taking down bosses was easier if each person was a role. Healer, DPS, tank, etc. Yep. Your typical party system layout.
It very much just matched up with what World of Warcraft was doing at the time.
Yeah,
And
pretty universal. I mean, look at any MMO games nowadays. You probably got the same things. I mean, even in parties where you control all the party members, you still look to get a healer, DPS, tank.
Yep. Heck, yeah, I found even Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. I tried to maintain that standard, and it was a little bit odd because the way the system was designed. The way the system is designed in Rebirth and Remake, because it's a real-time system versus a real-time ATB system versus a turn-based system. Whatever character you're controlling tends to be the character that becomes the target, and it's a pain in the ass, especially when you're trying to do things with Aerith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my time with that, I spent most of my time as Cloud.
Yeah.
Because he be the strong one.
Honestly, in the first game, it was very, very easy to just main Cloud the whole time. Or at least most of the time. Until I realized that you build up your party, not your party, but you build up your limit break a lot quicker if you're constantly switching between characters. And when I discovered that, it was like somebody lifted the blinders from my eyes, and suddenly I was doing some insane amounts of damage. Like,
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I
was
can
like,
see
oh,
all
so
limit breaks available to me.
this is how they intended the game to be played. Anyways, back to Final Fantasy XI.
Yes. Who wants to read about the setting?
Tyrundeth, do you have a computer in front of you, brother?
Not exactly at the moment.
Can you take a link and do some reading from it, or would it be too inconvenient?
Uh, Possibly?
Well, at least for the sake of participation, I'll share it with you.
Okay. Where are you sharing it?
It'll be in a Discord direct message.
Okay, I kind of figured that, but that's not what I was asking.
Boop, 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 boop.
Okay, now I have my answer.
Yes.
And where were we at? Setting?
Setting.
Yes, setting.
Final Fantasy XI takes place in the world of Vana'diel, a diverse planet with regions ranging from blindingly hot deserts to ice-cold glaciers. Vana'diel's inhabitants range from the enlightened races and beastmen to simple fiends. Ancient lore states that Vana'diel was created as a playground for the gods who themselves were spawned from an enormous sentient crystal. Oh god, here we go again. Crystals here, crystals there. For eons, the gods joyfully played until eventually falling into a deep slumber. It was during this slumber that the children of the gods rose and flourished in Vana'diel, extracting gold from stones, traveling through the sky, building mighty cities, and giving birth to the grasslands across the world. Eventually, the children longed to join their parents and constructed a pathway to the divine entrance to paradise. Enraged by such an insolent act, the holy gatekeeper smote the children. There are jokes I can make there.
Yeah.
And cast
Indeed.
their cities to the bottom of the sea. Shortly thereafter, the goddess
Altena.
Altana woke and saw the ruin that had once been Vana'diel, filled with an emotion that the likes of a god had never felt before. Sadness. Altana wept 5 divine tears. When the 5 tears fell upon the earth, they gave life to the 5 races of Vana'diel. However, the god of twilight, Promathia, observed this act from his place in the shadows. Promathia saw fit to condemn her weakness and the life that arose from it. Promathia cursed the 5 races with eternal conflict among themselves by bringing forth their darkest attributes: the apathy of the Humes, the arrogance of the Elvan, the rage of the Gulka, the cowardice of the Taru, and the envy of the Mithra. He created terrible beasts and spread them across the world, commanding them to forever fight the people of Vana'diel and occupy their minds. Never again would anyone think to open the gate of the gods.
Sorry, that seemed like the appropriate response.
I do not disagree.
Especially the way Tyrundeth delivered it. It was like it needed to be there. That walking animation is so very 90s. I missed it. This is also sped up at 2 times speed to save time, or to get maximum viewership of what the game might actually be like. Okay, so we have characters. The Adventurer. The player can create a character as long as, or to play as, Let's start that sentence over again with clarity. The player can create a character to play as through the use of the character creation system. Saw that at the
You
beginning
don't
of the video.
say.
Gee, what a concept. Let's see, we've got Humes built their the Humes built their city. We built this city, the Republic of Bastock, in the wastes of Gustaberg. They possess near equal abilities in all fields and are physically basic compared to other races. It is the Humes' adaptability that has spread them throughout the lands, making them the most numerous of the 5 races. Humes are said to suffer from the sin of apathy. Sounds right. Galka, the most imposing of all races, the Galka possess towering, bulky physiques. Their home city was destroyed hundreds of years ago by the Antikins, making the Galkan people refugees. Many have since settled in Bastock with the Humes. However, they are regarded as an underclass. Galkas are unique from other races in that they are male and reproduce through reincarnation. They possess high vitality and HP, but have the lowest MP of the 5 races. They are said to suffer from the sin of rage. I think we have our tank.
Yeah, I would say, except the job system makes that meaningless.
Oh, jeez. We built this city on material. Thank you, Mojo. Elven, native to the kingdom of Sandioria. The Elven are characterized by their tall, slender figures and large, pointed ears. Many Elven are deeply religious, possessing an unbreakable faith that is reflected in their everyday life. They are blessed with high strength and mind, however, also possessing low intelligence. The Elven are said to suffer from the sin of arrogance. DPS, anyone? Then you got the Mithra. The cat-like race of Mithras possess a gender imbalance with a high ratio of females to males. As such, only women are allowed away from the safety of their homeland to adventure around Venedil. They possess excellent agility and dexterity. I take it back. These are your DPS agents. But lack vitality and charisma. Mithras are said to suffer from the sin of envy. And then you've got...
I would say your Elvan are probably your casters. Usually.
Oh, okay. Except they've got the low intelligence.
High strength and mind. Mind, I would assume, being wisdom. So you're talking like a wizard type class.
Okay.
Cleric.
It must be... Oh, cleric, yeah. Because, yeah, you need intelligence for arcane and spellcasting.
Yes, but, like, traditionally, I say wisdom because wisdom is what allows you to be able to comprehend the spells. And, yeah, I would agree with Tyrundeth now that I think about it. Strength and mind, strength and wisdom. You're going to have your cleric.
Still think you've got... Yeah, I think you've got your two backwards. Because wisdom is tied to religion, intelligence is tied to magic.
Yes,
or the other way. Go ahead.
As far as your wizards being having wisdom, I cast fireball.
No, because then you're forgetting the sorcerers whose spell stats were based off of charisma. I cast 10 fireballs.
Well, let me finish reading. There's one more to go. The Taru. Let's see. The tiny Taru's age is not reflected in their size. Residing in the Federation of Windurst, the Taru are famed for their discovery and development of magic. Aha! Which they excel at thanks to their high intelligence. However, the small physique of a Taru means they have the low strength compared to the other races, i.e., or read Glass Cannon. Taru are said to suffer from the sin of cowardice. So, I am backed up. Magic goes with intelligence, wisdom goes with religion.
You're not entirely wrong. You're not saying that you're really wrong at all. It's just when you have the multiple spellcasting classes, each of the classes have their pair of primary stats.
Yeah.
And magic is, yes, while magic's related to intelligence and religion is related to wisdom, you also have, in this case, if you go back to your traditional D&D, it's intelligence and wisdom that would be your spellcasting stats for the wizard. It's your strength and wisdom, and in some cases charisma for your cleric / religion. And then, like I said, sorcerer, intelligence and charisma. So 6 one, half dozen the other.
Yes, this is Final Fantasy. This is not Dungeons and Dragons, we forget. Or at least I forget.
But they still kind of sort of adhere to that old school D20 setting.
Yeah. I'm with Mojo, though. Intelligence is spellcasting, but the wizard would have low wisdom. So, anyway, let's see if I can breeze
I don't
through.
acknowledge 5th edition, so...
My only experience is in 5th edition. I think I found my 2.5 book a while back, but I was looking. I don't remember anything about those times. That's during my Forgotten Age, where I blocked out a good portion of my memories.
I mean, just ask Tyrundeth, do either of us acknowledge 5e?
5th ed, yes. The other one, no.
Okay, he's probably referring to 4e.
What was that? I missed that.
Yeah, I bet you did, because both of us noped out after 3rd. Well, 3.5.
Okay, so do I breeze through some of the paragraphs on story, or do you want to take a turn, Hiro?
We can pick it up, although Mojo is disputing what I'm saying that it's been that way since 2nd edition. Don't agree, but that's okay.
Back to Final Fantasy.
The story is set in the Age of Adventurers. It's the 884th year of the Crystal Era, 20 years after the end of the Crystal War that ravaged Vana'diel. The 3 main nations of Vana'diel, Sandaoria, Bestop, and Windurst, continue their struggle against the Beastmen, who, although less organized, have regrouped and still terrorize the land. Rather than dispatching their own forces to deal with this threat, the nations of Vana'diel begin to employ adventurers who handle them as well as other minor tasks. The player is one such adventurer. Reports of the Beastmen rising again lead the adventurer to journey on behalf of their nation to the other 2 nations to investigate the matter. In a Beastman stronghold, the adventurer encounters the Spotter, a servant of the Shadow Lord, and it attacks by summoning a dread dragon to aid it. Kind of early in the game to be facing a dragon, don't you think?
Well, that to the Dark Souls franchise.
Don't remind me. After being defeated... What's that?
I said I think I just did.
Yeah. After being defeated by the adventurer, it announces that the Shadow Lord will soon rise again. The adventurer also encounters Lion, again after fighting the dragon. On a later mission, the adventurer is made to report at the nation's embassy in the Grand Duchy of Ueno. I'll go with that. And ends up rescuing the ambassador who had been kidnapped and held hostage in Delkput's tower. They are really testing they are really challenging my command of the English language here, I see. The ambassador, impressed by the adventurer's bravery, later recommends them as a diplomatic attaché to the Archduke of attaché.
Yeah, my pedantic could only carry you so far.
The Archduke of Ueno for a special mission. Camlanut, the Archduke.
Camlanut.
No, I'm not even.
Camlanut. Let's not go to Camlanut. It's a silly place.
Task the adventurer with retrieving magicite from deep within the beastmen strongholds of Devoy, Bedeau, and Castle Ostrosia to prevent the beastmen from harnessing its power to resurrect the Shadow Lord. At this point, the adventurer meets Aldo of the Tenshodo, his sister Verena, and the peace-loving goblin Blick Blicks. Wow. For the first time, Aldo helps out with the mission, whereas Flickbix dies while trying to reason with the Yugudo Beastmen. When the adventurer retrieves the three pieces of magicite, the Archduke rewards them by issuing them an airship pass. All right, that's enough of that.
Flickblix, the little brother of Mixelplicklick.
And Mitzelplick.
Mixelplick.
I got nothing.
Oh,
Anyways,
Pawn. Yeah.
that's some early on stories. I don't know how much you want to delve into
Yeah,
that.
let's
We
go
got
ahead
about
and
15.
move on from that.
Yeah,
Talk
because
about
I'm sure there's plenty of story in like when the game booted up on this playthrough. I noticed like 12 expansions, so that's a lot of story.
yeah. There's a bunch here. Um. Okay, so we can talk about story missions. Players are not required to play through the main story, but are instead rewarded through having areas, items, equipment, and even gameplay systems unlocked upon progressing through them. In the original Final Fantasy XI, the main story is presented in the form of missions which are issued by gate guards in the three main nations. Progress in these missions are marked by players' nation rank, which runs upward from 1 being the starting rank. Although each nation initially has a distinctly different story, the stories gradually converge up till the battle with the final boss in Final Fantasy XI and the attainment of rank 6. The three nations' stories are subsequently expanded upon in separate directions in the Rise of the Zillart expansion. Then we go into version updates and expansion packs.
So, according to this, basically this game is still getting updates. What? I thought they shut it down after a while. On July 30th, 2020, a brand new storyline to be released across version updates was announced, marking the first major storyline addition in 5 years. So they were still updating this game back in 2020, but I thought they sunset it.
Maybe
Huh.
it's further down further down the page. I'm not seeing nothing.
11. Oops.
Yeah, maybe Wikipedia will tell us.
I am Googling right now. 2023. Oh, after 20 years of support, Square Enix is putting Final Fantasy XI into maintenance mode, meaning servers will stay up and it'll remain playable. Yeah, that was in 2023. Oh, wow. So Final Fantasy XI debuted in 2002.
Yes.
But with limited support. Okay. So that was 2023 when they put it in maintenance mode.
So, do you want to go into any of the expansion packs? We're dwindling down on time.
Yeah, we are dwindling down on time. There's a lot here, but I don't feel like it's terribly relevant because the current storyline of the ongoing franchise wasn't really conceptualized yet.
Let's go into the development section since we hit that on all the other games. Let's do it here too.
Fair enough. Let me get back to it. You want to pick that up, Tyrundeth?
Working on it. There we go. Final Fantasy XI was first announced at the Japanese Square Millennium event in 2000, along with the announcement for Final Fantasy X. The first teaser trailer can be seen
at this link.
At this link, the idea for a massively multiplayer Final Fantasy was conceived by he. I'm gonna have to defer to Hiro on this particular
Hironobu
name.
Sakaguchi.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty
Okay.
good. Hironobu Sakaguchi. Yes, that's pretty good.
After-
Good job there, Mariner.
Thank you.
After being impressed by the Western MMORPG, oh god, EverQuest.
I am seeing a little bit. I'm seeing that a little bit of the flavor of that in this playthrough we're watching.
Hiromichi Tanaka,
Yep.
Yeah.
producer of the original Final Fantasy 11 game and its expansions, states 11 is the most Final Fantasy of all the installments. Yeah, bloody well was.
Mm-hmm.
Stating it includes many things the team were unable to place into earlier titles due to technical limitations. Tanaka also recalled Final Fantasy III as a major influence on the original game, which can be seen in the job system.
Mm-hmm.
In early development, there was a debate over whether the game should be called Final Fantasy Online, as there was uncertainty surrounding if storytelling in an MMORPG could be of a standard expected from previous titles. However, once the core storyline was written and reviewed, it was decided to be worthy of the main series, and the game became Final Fantasy XI. Anyone want to continue on?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. A closed Japanese beta took place in 2001 with a public version in the following December. The game was officially released in Japan on May 16th, 2002 for the PlayStation 2. Although initially announced to have a simultaneous worldwide release date, it took until 2004 before 11 launched in America and in Europe. The PS2 version ended up not being released in Europe at all due to the hard disk drive peripheral for the console not being available in the region. Well, shit. Sucks to suck, losers. On March 19th, 2015, Square Enix announced that it will end service for the PS2 and Xbox 360 versions in 2016. Well, I mean, at that point, PS2 and 360 were kind of past the twilight years, weren't they?
As I recall, that was the case, yes.
During the same press conference, it was announced that the game will be released for smartphones. A free-to-play online RPG spin-off named Final Fantasy Grandmasters was also announced for smartphones. This is so wild. All these console games that we used to play the hell out of back in the day are now released on smartphones. Freaking smartphones. I was
At least they didn't
playing.
just outright get rid of it altogether.
I mean, yes. I mean, how many people, like, does anybody realize that they have San Andreas available for Android? Like, you can play it legitimately on your Android phone. Not that I'm not a GTA fan, so that's irrelevant to me. I just thought it was crazy when I first saw that. You know, all the freaking Super Nintendo emulators that are out there that you can play on smartphones. Anyways, I digress.
Okay, so there is a slight mention to the Final Fantasy. Wait, hang on. Final Fantasy XI makes references to other Final Fantasy games, the number 11, and popular culture. That's an article we can dig into in our personal time. Let's see, trivia. In the anime Welcome to NHK, the centerpiece of 2 episodes is based around the main character becoming addicted to Ultimate Fantasy. The game itself has multiple visual references to Final Fantasy XI. Logo itself is almost identical to Final Fantasy logo, and the different races in the game are minor variations of the races in Final Fantasy XI. The main character's avatar is also dressed like a red mage. In
That's all
Dissidia,
over YouTube.
in Dissidia 012 Final Fantasy 11 is the only game that has all of its representatives on Cosmos' side. This excludes Final Fantasy 13, which only has one representative, Lightning. I don't know the relevance, or
That's
I don't
the
have the
name of the
pertinent
main.
context. Right, well, I knew that part, Lightning, yes. I didn't know the whole Dissidia Final Fantasy thing.
So Dissidia is like a offshoot of the Final Fantasy series. It's usually, I say usually, it's generally a fighting game that showcases all characters from Final Fantasy, kind of like a Super Smash Bros. But they also have like mini games and stuff sometimes within them.
Got it.
Yeah, that's correct, right, Tyrundeth?
Yeah.
It's mostly like a mashup fighting game like Super Smash is.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think they might have some like some some strategy gaming, like kind of like Fire Emblem or Civ type stuff in some of them too. I'm not 100% sure on
Yeah, something like that.
that. Anyways,
I think that's all we
the
have on
logo.
Final Fantasy 11.
Yeah, we really don't have a lot unless we want to dive into all the storylines, which is a little bit daunting, and none of us have really had a whole lot of experience with it, so probably would fall flat when it comes to us.
Yeah. And besides which, we don't want to trigger Mojo by taking up a new dauntless task. Or daunting task, however which way. Wah wah. Anywho. Shall we shamelessly oh wait, Tyrundeth is contributing to Mojo's conversation here. Wizard, Int and Con, Sorcerer, Charisma and Con. Cleric, Wisdom, Charisma and Con. Paladin, Charisma, Con, and Wisdom. Con being Constitution.
Yeah, that's odd. You need to go and look at. Gotta go look that up because that's odd.
Looks right to
Wonder
me.
where I got that. I wonder where I got that from on. Got all the stuff from on my memory. It doesn't. That's weird.
Hero's been playing too much Zelda.
No, because you don't have stats to worry about. Zelda.
That's why you forgot. There wasn't anything to worry about, so you lost all the data. Alrighty, well, shall we shamelessly plug?
I think we shall.
Who wants to start?
Well, hey guys, check us out Friday nights, 7 p.m. East Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6.
Like
Would that be 6 Mountain?
Yes.
And that's the Lagging Out podcast. Mariner sometimes joins us there, but that's usually where I am on Friday nights with Soda and the Chieftain. We
Yeah,
talk
when
about
I'm not
all kinds of...
when I'm playing D&D, I'm usually in the chat like I needed to be the last week. Man, that conversation was painful to watch. It's painful to listen to without being able to contribute.
But that being said, we like
For context for those who had not seen the live on Friday, they got into the discussion about Doctor Who, and of the group, I'm the only one who really has any experience with it, and there was a decided lack of representation on the stream. So I texted Hiro after I saw that and went, I really wish I had been there.
I wish you had too, because while I was trying to make a case for it and to make a case for actually contributing constructive criticisms and actual good commentary, I was outnumbered significantly and couldn't do it justice.
Yeah. We may
People
have
wanted to
to.
go hard in the paint. He wanted to go hard in the paint, saying, "I'm sorry, but UK entertainment isn't entertainment," or something along those lines.
Oh, we need to do a Mariner makeup stream with the Lagging Out crew so I can set them straight on some things. Because I also missed the Star Trek conversation a few weeks back, and that was also painful.
Ah. But anyways, Lagging Out likes to cover like all kinds of entertainment news, views, rants, video games, stuff of that. Like, stay tuned. There is tentatively some more stuff coming that will be visiting at the very least our YouTube channel and hopefully maybe Rumble as well.
Yep, and then also check out lagginout.com where we do recaps of the best topic of the week in the live. Hiro, it's your turn. And we will be putting links towards the upcoming content on there as well. And there's also some new stuff coming in the pipe from Lagging Out as well, to give opportunity for education for those who might be interested. The page is probably going to be going live in the next month, maybe. But also check out Tyrundeth. His link tree is in the chat. And then I will be.
And
Go ahead.
I was going to say, yep, and I will be live this Thursday alongside Winry and my buddy Ware playing Warframe.
What time is that stream going to be?
That's
Hopefully after my stream, so I can raid ya.
between 8 and 8:30 Central. So
Yeah, that's
about
it.
9:30 Eastern.
Yeah, that should be like right after my stream ends, so we're good. Actually, I can't raid you because I don't have the Lagging Out controls.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe I can talk Hiro into coming in at the end of the stream and punching in the raid command for me.
You can do that from your Streamlabs.
Can moderators initiate raids?
Well, since he'd be streaming as Lagging Out on the Twitch, you can just do this /raid and it should work.
Except for the fact that Streamlabs doesn't allow me to enter commands through the Streamlabs interface because I have to log into Twitch with the Lagging Out credentials first.
Nah.
Because Twitch be stupid. Or Streamlabs be stupid. Both. Let's say both. But yes, I will be streaming tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Time some more Riven. And then on Thursday night, I will be on Lagging Out my own self playing more Riven at the 7:30 Eastern time slot. And then, I think that is everything. So, shall we say good night, gents?
Good night, gents.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Fair winds and fun gaming, y'all. Enjoy Final Fantasy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.